Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop. And this is my first impressions look on Austin Reaves' first shoe. So this shoe actually has a name which is kind of weird. I thought this was just Austin Reaves' signature shoe. I guess it is, but also this is from a company that I have not heard. It's a Chinese company. It's called Rigorer, right? And it's also called the War Ender 1 Pro. So yeah. Oh man, that's a War Ender. Anyways, it retails for $100 on Famuji, so if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. But let's get it started right off with the Tracciones. In this colorway, we have a translucent outsole, like pretty much a fully translucent outsole, but it's not icy. You know what I mean? It's like already yellowed out, which is kind of weird, just because that's one reason why I don't like, you know, translucent outsoles, just because it yellows, you know what I mean? It gets super dirty. But anyways, it's pretty much a herringbone traction pattern, but we have this like line, like zigzag line going through the outsole, right? And also there is a pivot point where the ball of your foot is. But how is the traction? Holy crap, guys, just on my wood floors, it seems very, very freaking amazing right now. The stop seems really good, and also there's a really loud high-pitched squeak, which has nothing to do with performance, of course, but I do like to have a very loud high-pitched squeak. So that feels nice as well, and the rubber seems super freaking tough, you know? It's a very hard rubber, and the grooves are very deep and also super thick. So the durability seems very good. I mean, if you're gonna be playing on an outdoor court, you should be fine in, should I just call it the Austin Reaves shoe, or should I just call it the War Ender? Actually, I'm gonna call it the War Ender, the War Enders, right? So yeah, I'm very excited about the traction pattern. The only thing to worry about, of course, is dust. I mean, it's super sticky. Like, I don't know, like it seems super sticky, like there seems to be like a film or something over it, and it's very sticky. So we'll have to see how much dust it picks up, of course, but right now, for my first impressions, it seems really good. Also, we can see a midfoot shake plate, right? It's kind of like a like 3/4 kinda, right? And also it's carbon fiber, you know, it's carbon fiber, which is a very nice touch. And for $100, that's crazy, you know what I mean? They're giving us carbon fiber and also like a really nice foam, which we'll get into. But yeah, that's good for torsion support, of course. And as far as the heel to toe transition, it feels very nice so far, right? So here in the heel, we have a pretty rounded shape, and also we have it is pretty caged, but it's pretty soft, you know what I mean? You can still like press the foam here a little bit, and there is a little bit of give, so it's super smooth here in the heel. And then in the forefoot, we have a nice rounded shape and a good amount. Look at that. Okay, the material is really crappy, but we'll get into that. But there's a good amount of forefoot flex, so overall heel to toe transition right now feels very smooth. And now moving on to the cushioning itself, the cushion seems really nice so far too, right? So it looks very similar to Boost, and I feel like a lot of these companies are using this type of foam. You know, it's probably not proprietary to Adidas anymore. Like everyone has it, you know what I mean? But honestly, it's nice, you know what I mean? The cushion, it's super soft. There is a good amount of compression even with all of this cage, right? And also on the medial side is pretty much fully exposed. So here in the heel, it feels pretty high up off the ground, and then the forefoot, it seems pretty low to the ground. There seems to be a very high offset, which it's, you know, it's either you like it or you don't. I don't really care either way. It's just the heel, it's very soft, a lot of compression, feels like it's gonna have very good impact protection as well. The insole is pretty nice, you know, it's soft, it's foamy, and it's pretty thick, so that does improve the step and comfort. And then also the stroke board is actually pretty soft, you know what I mean? When you look at it, it looks to be like a traditional stroke board. It looks super glued down and stuff like this. I was like pretty disappointed, but when I press it with my fingers, there's a good amount of give, right? So the insole plus a softer stroke board and also this foam being super soft, the step and comfort is actually really good. Underfoot cushioning feels great. They're calling it the air sack. It literally says air sack right here. So I guess that's the foam. I'm sorry, but Famuji doesn't really have very good like descriptions, you know what I mean? It just says foam, right? And it says soft foam, and it says, you know, just TPU and stuff like that. So I'm not 100% sure on the actual text, so I apologize if I'm wrong, but I'm just telling you guys how it feels so far. Hopefully it doesn't bottom out really quickly. Usually foams like this don't, but we'll have to see on that. But the cushion feels really nice so far, and even for $100 shoe, you know, like Nike, Adidas gives us EVA, Nike gives us stiff Phylon, you know what I mean? Under Armour gives us EVA, but Rigorer, they gave us this, the air sack. the air sac. But it feels nice, right? So there is the cushioning setup there. All right, moving on to the material. So the material is where I feel like they cut costs a little bit because the material feels so damn crappy. Yeah, it's basically like a plastic material, right? And you guys, oh my, it's super flimsy feeling. It's very plasticky as well. And it's just like, it doesn't hurt and it doesn't feel uncomfortable, but it's kind of stiff right now, especially with this material, you know what I mean? So it doesn't feel great for quality either. And there is an underlaying material as well. I mean, the good thing is, I guess, is that it's thin, but other than that, it's like, yeah, it feels pretty crappy. And also like here at the tip of the toe, we do have some fuse, right, for extra durability and support. But the overall material on this entire upper is this like plastic, you know what I mean? So that does not feel good. And then for the first two eyelets, we have some flywire cables going down into the upper, right? All the way down into the midsole, so you have better support and also better lockdown when you're tying the laces. So it's on the lateral side and also on the medial side, we got some flat laces. And then the tongue is actually like, here on top, there's a good amount of padding that does feel nice, but once you get to the bottom here, it's actually, there's no foam, there's no padding, right? Also, it's a half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And then here in the ankle area, it's all right. Like on the sides of the ankle, it's super, like, it's very minimal, but here in the back of the ear, it seems to have like a little bit of a Achilles pad, kinda, right? It's stitched, but doesn't seem to have extra foam, which is kind of weird, but there is a good amount of foam like where your Achilles is, so that does feel pretty nice. But the overall material is pretty crappy. I don't like it. And usually I don't really care about materials, as you guys all know, as long as it's thin, it's supportive, it conforms to your foot. But honestly, it doesn't conform to my foot that well. It kind of, you know, it feels plasticky, it feels a little stiff, so hopefully it breaks in a little bit, but you know, definitely like for quality, it's also not great, right? So there is the upper there. Moving on to the fit. So I went true to size and it fits me pretty well, right? So lengthwise, I would say there is a little bit of length, but overall, it does fit me pretty well lengthwise. And also here in the toe box, it does fit me pretty damn well. It's not super snug. I would say it's like in between super snug and like a normal fit, right? So like I would say it's slightly snug. So that does feel nice as well. I can curl my toes up just a tiny bit. And the width wise, I would say it's around normal width right now. We'll have to see once I break it in, like if the material stretches out or stuff like that. But overall, it does fit me pretty damn well. And if you want a like kind of snug fit, and you have like a normal size foot, you should be fine going true to size. If you want a roomier fit, probably go up half a size. And if you have a wide foot, probably just go up half a size. You should be fine. But just to be safe, if you have a really wide foot or something like that, probably go up full size. But for the most part, I feel like you should be okay going half size up, right? So there is the fit there. Moving on to the weight of the shoe, actually feels pretty light in hand. So I'm guessing like 11-12 ounces. Okay, so 12.4 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. 12.35 ounces. So yeah, that's pretty much average weight. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So yeah, the only thing that feels kind of like bulky and a little chunky is the foam right here in the heel, just because it is pretty chunky, right? Nothing crazy, it's just me nitpicking right now, but that does feel a little chunky. But for the most part, it does feel pretty damn minimal, just because the upper is very, very minimal. And hopefully the traction's really, really good. If the traction's really good, I'm really gonna like this shoe, right? All right, moving on to the support and lockdown. So for lateral containment, feels like it's gonna be very, very good, right? So this material does roll over on itself just a tiny bit, but like I said, there's no stretch to the material, so it does feel pretty damn supportive. So hopefully it doesn't roll over on itself, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna be that bad, right? And then also here on the lateral, so we have the outsole coming up, acting as a sidewall. We do have this fuse for reinforcement as well. And we have this cage too, right? This plastic cage. It cages the cushion, also acts as a lateral calendar here in the midfoot. And then it seems to have an internal TPU heel, kind of like a super stiff one. So lateral containment feels like it's gonna be very, very good. And also lateral stability, we do have like a pretty sharp outrigger, right? It does protrude out a good amount here on the lateral side in the forefoot. And yeah, it's a very, very wide base, it feels like. So lateral stability feels like it's gonna be good too. So support and lockdown feels like it's gonna be pretty damn good in the the War Ender ones. And now moving on to the aesthetics. I don't know. This color is kind of okay. You know what I mean? I do like this gradient, but I don't like this off-white color. It looks weird. I mean, maybe if it was just like white, especially because this foam, right? Companies usually don't color this foam in, you know what I mean? And they just keep it white. And I feel like it doesn't match as well, you know, with this. But either way, the overall like kind of silhouette looks alright. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I also don't think it looks terrible. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yes, $100. I mean, if it was like 120, 140 bucks, I'd be like, it's feeling okay. But for $100 right now, the quality seems pretty good as far as the tech goes, besides, I guess, the upper. But like I said, it doesn't feel terrible on foot. It just feels like a little stiff, a little, you know, not as soft as I would want. But I guess it does seem pretty damn supportive though, so I guess that's a good thing. But yeah, it's feeling good so far. I'm pretty damn excited to try it out. So my first impressions of the War Ender 1 Pro is pretty damn good. So tell us how you guys think this shoe will perform. But again, links will be in the description box if you do want to cop. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.